My mom called to tell me grandma died, then said she left everything to your brother, and you know what? I didn't even cry. I just said okay and hung up. And if you're wondering why I wasn't shocked, let me take you back. When I was 7 years old, my parents got divorced. My mom moved 3 states away with her new boyfriend, just packed up and left. And my dad? He threw himself into work, 60-hour weeks, and became a ghost in his own life. He basically forgot I existed. So grandma became everything. Every summer, I was at her house. Every Christmas morning, she unwraps presents on her worn floral couch. Every scraped knee, every failed math test, every teenage heartbreak, she was there. She taught me to cook her famous lasagna, the one with 3 kinds of cheese that took all day to make. She showed me how to plant tomatoes in neat rows in her backyard garden. She taught me to fix a leaky faucet, change a tire, and balance a checkbook. All the things parents are supposed to teach their kids. My brother? He visited maybe twice a year. Always too busy with his corporate job in the city. Too important to call on her birthday. Too stressed to help when she fell and broke her hip at 73. That was me. I took 3 weeks off work unpaid. I slept on her lumpy couch for months. I drove her to physical therapy every single day, helping her up the stairs, holding her arm while she relearned how to walk. But then, 6 months before she died, something changed. Suddenly, my brother was showing up every single weekend. Expensive flower arrangements in his hands, designer suits still on from work, taking her to fancy restaurants downtown, posting photos on Facebook with captions like, "Nothing matters more than family." And honestly, I felt relieved. Like maybe he'd finally grown up. Maybe he finally understood what an incredible woman she was. Every Sunday dinner, he'd be there, charming, attentive. He'd compliment her cooking, ask about her friends at church, laugh at her old stories I'd heard 100 times. I thought he finally cared. My mom started coming around more too, suddenly very interested in grandma's well-being, asking questions about her finances, her medication, her plans for the future. But I was just happy grandma wasn't lonely anymore. When she went into hospice, I was there every day after work, holding her paper-thin hand, reading her favorite books out loud, playing those scratchy old records. She loved Frank Sinatra, Ella Fitzgerald. My brother showed up twice, both times with mom. Both times, they stepped outside to take important calls and spent more time in the hallway than in her room. 3 days before she died, grandmama squeezed my hand with what little strength she had left and whispered, "You've always been my good boy." I told her I loved her. She smiled and closed her eyes. The funeral was packed. My brother gave this beautiful eulogy about cherishing every moment with family. People were actually crying. Mom kept touching his shoulder supportively, nodding along. I just stood there, feeling numb. The will reading was 2 weeks later. Mom insisted we all go together. She seemed nervous, excited, even. The lawyer cleared his throat. The estate totaled roughly $800,000. The house, the savings accounts, the investment portfolio, all of it. Every single dollar. To my brother. Mom actually clapped, then caught herself. "Oh, I'm sorry, it's just, she made the right choice." My brother tried to look humble. "I'm honored grandma trusted me with this responsibility." The lawyer looked uncomfortable. He glanced at me. "I'm sorry, there's nothing for you in the will itself." Mom reached over and patted my hand. "Don't be upset, honey. Your brother earned it by being there for her at the end. He stepped up when it mattered most." I drove home in silence. Sat in my tiny 1-bedroom apartment, the same one I'd rented for 8 years because I couldn't afford anything bigger on my teacher's salary. That weekend, I drove to grandma's house one last time. Mom had already given my brother the keys, but I still had my old one. The house felt empty, quiet. I walked through the rooms, remembering everything. In the kitchen, I found her old recipe box, that wooden one with the faded rooster painted on top. I opened it, just wanting something of hers to keep. That's when I saw the envelope tucked in the back. My name, written in her shaky handwriting. Inside was a notarized letter dated 3 years ago, and a property deed. She transferred ownership of her lake cabin to me. The one is 2 hours north, the one where we spent every 4th of July, just the two of us. The one sitting on 15 pristine acres with 200 feet of private waterfront. The one worth $1.2 million. The letter said, "They'll show their true colors when I'm gone. This is so you'll know you were always my favorite. The cabin was never part of my estate because it was already yours. I made sure they couldn't touch it." My brother called yesterday, voice shaking with rage. Apparently, his inheritance came with $600,000 in taxes that grandma had been hiding from everyone, taxes he now has to pay. I texted back 2 words, "You earned